Hi, it's Randi Rhodes. Hope you enjoy this free clip from Political Voices Network.
When Rudolph Giuliani is quoted describing how he collected $1 million owed to him without reporting it as income so that his wife would not be able to get any of that money in his then pending divorce proceedings.
Oh, good God.
That is federal income tax evasion, which carries a 5-year prison term, and state income tax evasion.
What is Rudy, 78 years old? So, that's like 5 years. It would be like the rest of his life to be in prison. So these are federal crimes. There's a lot of federal crimes in this complaint. Set aside the ick factor, okay, of having to visualize Rudy in any state of undress. Ew. Okay. And let's just focus on, the federal crimes that are alleged in this particular lawsuit, which, lie to the FBI if somebody asks you whether or not we're selling pardons. Just say you don't know me. And she wasn't comfortable lying to the FBI, so she told him, and this apparently enraged him. So, selling pardons obviously is a federal crime. Selling pardons with the president of the United States, oh my God. And then lie to the FBI if anybody, ever asks you about what we're doing here together. Just lie, say you don't know me, say you don't remember any of this, whatever. That's another federal crime. And then the tax evasion crime, that's an interesting crime because he said to her, and apparently she recorded these conversations. That's the problem with this story. The problem is she says there's recordings. There's Lordy, there are tapes, right? And the last time there were tapes, and Donald Trump was on the phone with Brad Raffensperger telling him, oh, come on, fellas, I just need you to find me. Just find me, 11,890 votes, one more than we have, because I won the state, right? So whenever there's tapes regarding Donald Trump, there's law breaking. And then he says it was a perfect call. Okay, there were tapes with the extortion of Volodymyr Zelensky, and Donald Trump said it was a perfect call. There are tapes of him shaking down, extorting the Secretary of State of Georgia and others on that phone call, and he said that's a perfect phone call. So wherever there are tapes of Donald Trump and his, cronies and his hacks and his minions, either somebody's face is melting off or they're committing crimes on the tape. That's the problem. That is the problem. And the tax thing is really, it kind of sounds like something that, Donald Trump, Rudy, that kind of a guy would discuss. He says that there was a guy who was holding $1 million that he was owed. And this guy was holding the $1 million that, Rudy was about to collect for services rendered or some such crap. And he was letting the guy hold it because he didn't want to have to say that he received it ahead of his divorce, and put it on his tax forms, which is what they would, award alimony based on. That's tax evasion. That's saying, yeah, I earned it this year, but I don't want it yet. I mean, that's pretty gross.
As for the tax crime alleged in this lawsuit, it appears that defendant Giuliani has a very big problem.
Yeah.
On page 22 of the complaint, it says, Giuliani told Ms. Dunphy that someone owed him $1 million, but Giuliani hinted that instead of having the money paid to him, he had his friend, Robert Strick, hold it for him. He said, Robert Strick just got me $1 million payment. This statement was recorded.
Oh, God.
If that statement was recorded and does include Rudolph Giuliani describing how he is obtaining $1 million without declaring it as income so that he can hide it from his wife in a divorce proceeding, Rudolph Giuliani could face a federal prison term of 5 years for federal tax evasion.
Right.
That recorded statement could put Rudolph Giuliani in federal prison for the rest of his life.
And she said there are recordings. And then her lawyer, a guy named Justin Kelton, I looked him up. He does work for the law firm that the newspapers were reporting were representing her in this matter. And Justin Kelton said that while the pardon conversation was not recorded, the pardon conversation was had in front of witnesses. But he names one of the witnesses, and one of the witnesses is the felon, the ex-convict, Lev Parnas, who obviously was friends with Igor Fruman, Rudy Giuliani, Lev Parnas, and Donald Trump. And there are photographs of her with those people. She actually has. I've seen photographs of them together.